So I wondered if you could describe your work for anybody watching who doesn't know what your style is, what you do.
Yeah, so I'm a freelance illustrator. I work on private commissions, but I'm trying to venture into children's books and also very slowly pitter-pattering into games, possibly. And it's very whimsical, very cute. Basically, think about children's books and I'm there.
Sounds about right. So that's where all your inspirations and stuff came from, I assume. Yeah.
Yeah, basically. From when I was a child, like my mum used to read a lot of the Swedish books. So like, I don't know if anyone knows, but Pippi Longstocking, I guess in English. Pippi Longstrump in Swedish. Madicken. There's one I'm doing right now, which is Tomtebobarnen by Elsa Beskow. She's a very famous Swedish illustrator, which in English I think is Children of the Forest, which I only found out yesterday, and it does not translate very well. So
Wait, so are there no forests? Are there no children?
well, yeah, the children are the barnen, and then the tomte is like a little gnome, so they're meant to be like gnome children, but they've translated it to Children of the Forest instead.
Okay. Yeah. Well, okay. Yeah. I mean, it sounds very Swedish.
It is very Swedish, yeah.
Like the only way it could be more Swedish is if they were like eating meatballs every day,
Yeah, no, they're not eating meatballs every day.
or pillaging, so like some Vikings.
That's true. No, it's very whimsical, very childlike. No pillaging, I'm afraid.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. Yeah. I find that I was thinking about like our kind of work the other day, and I was thinking that I feel like they're kind of polar opposites because I feel like I always, whenever I'm writing lyrics, for example, it's always really, really on the dark end of things, and you're so happy and nice and cute, and it's so opposite. But I like how opposite it is.
Yeah, but then again, we have that creativity in common, and you can say that now. However, back in college, my like style was dark humor. So if you go back and look at my artwork from college, it was very much like it was dark. It was bad. Yeah. I don't know if you've seen any of it actually.
I've maybe. Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like that's the kind of thing that a lot of people like pictures of you when you're that age and things that you wrote and drew. I would not want anybody, even myself, to read lyrics that I'd written back in college and high school.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I'm not gonna bring that up.
Yeah, well, that was a perfect segue into. I have noticed in general that your style has changed quite a lot over the time. So I was just wondering if that was a personal decision or was it kind of brought on by changes in the industry or becoming like a professional rather than doing it just like in your spare time?
Yeah, I mean, I think in general university sort of molded me, because before then I was doing like the dark humor stuff. I didn't know I wanted to be an illustrator. I thought I'd go into fine art, and then in university it was very strict. We were told to use a limited color palette, etc. And since then, coming out of that and becoming a professional illustrator, I found in order to market myself, I had to have a style. And I basically molded it around it takes time, but I basically molded it around what I thought I was good at, what people seem to enjoy online. And since then it's become what it is now. But I am trying to change it again. So just for my personal sanity, I don't like sticking to one thing with my creativity because it gets very stale and I get bored. So I'm trying to change it up again.
Yeah, I think it's interesting hearing from a different kind of creative industry because it does sound quite similar in the fact of what you do is kind of catered to what people like and what the world consumes and your kind of brand per se. But I think there's always that mentality that all creative people have where they kind of get a little bit bored doing one same thing. The creative people naturally want to do lots of different things.
Yeah, and I think that's the same for you though, because listening back to some of your music, and even when you were in a band before, it's changed quite a bit since then. So how do you think you've changed in your style?
Yeah.
throw it back at you.
I get yeah. Oh, you've got the interviewer has become the interviewee. I think definitely my style has changed, but more from a perspective of like since I started this specific project, I had a very specific style, and that has only started to change recently. So I was talking to a friend about this last night, and I was saying that I've written quite a bit of stuff for post this period of the project that is vastly different to my current style, or quite different anyway. And because I still haven't finished this phase, I can't really get into the nitty gritty of it because I want to still be in the mindset that made me write these songs originally. So I don't know if did you have a similar thing where you desperately want to move on and do something different, but you're kind of stuck in a specific way of doing things for a certain period of time?
Yeah, I think that was basically me a few weeks, about a month ago. So I've been doing a lot of client work, and obviously it's great because it pays the bills, and but it also leaves me with very little time for personal projects and personal exploration with my art. But I have taken some time now, and I am purely working on personal projects for the foreseeable future, and taking like little commissions now and again just to keep me going, like feeding myself and stuff, you know.
Yeah. I know, I think that's a good way to do it. Is there anything you can tell us about your personal projects? Oh, obviously you mentioned bits earlier, but
The recent post on my feed is a little work in progress of I'm basically re-illustrating books from my childhood, or just children's books in general, to go on my portfolio, and that is to eventually be able to apply to children's book agencies so I can have representation. And yeah, there's that, and then there's also some other projects that I'm working on, but it's really annoying, but I can't talk about them too much, but it is game related, so it's just a work in progress right now, basically.
well, it sounds very exciting. I think not being able to talk about things sometimes is better because it creates more intrigue and people stay around. Like I'm very intrigued and excited to see what you are working on, and I'm sure I will at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your music might even be a part of it at some point, so you never know.
Oh, well, this is this is a world first, world premiere right here.
This is like the first time I'm chatting about it with you as well. So, but yeah, we worked together on a game jam a little while ago, and
Yes, we did. Yeah.
I have to say, your music in that game jam was like nothing I've ever heard you produce before. So it was really interesting to see how you can mold your style, or not mold your style, but like mold your music talent to fit the I don't know how to articulate this.
Yeah, I get what you mean though. Yeah, I think the things that I wrote for that game jam is a lot more indicative as well of where I want to progress to, but I'm still kind of a little bit stuck. I still like where I am, but it's very interesting. Yeah, like you were saying, it seems so different, and I think I have the capacity to do that stuff, and I'm very excited to try new things. I'm working with some people with games stuff, and I'm always excited to work on games projects or just creative projects in general. So you count me in.
Yeah, if you can blend the two, then why not?
Exactly, perfectly. Well, you had some time off recently, and I was wondering, what did you do? Speaking of games, because I noticed you played a bit of games, but I was wondering if you could talk about that.
Yeah, I had a week off. Was it last week? I think it was last week.
Yeah, that's so worried. Like when you have time off, it just drifts away. It just goes so quick. You don't know when it was.
Well, right now I felt like it was kind of pointless, but mentally I really needed that time off. Because we're stuck indoors anyway. Like you can kind of consider it time off for everyone, but you know, those who are still working, if that makes sense. So yeah, I played a crap ton of games. In a month I managed to get 300 plus hours on Hollow Knight, which I don't know if I should be proud of or kind of a little bit embarrassed about.
I'm proud of you for that. That is, I didn't even know there were that many hours in the month.
No, it's a really like expansive game. You start off in, I'm not gonna give any spoilers, but you start off in this like tiny part of it and it just grows and grows. So there's so much to explore and it's a really tricky game. So you get stuck on quite a few levels. There's not really levels, but like a few bits in the game, and it's really, really good. I highly recommend it. And it's well illustrated as well. That's a beautiful game.
Perfect. Yeah, I find that when I play games, I really focus on the audio aspect of it, and I think, I don't know, do you see any games or any kind of media that you consume influencing your style and your work?
No. I wish I did. I wish I did, but I don't. I really don't I don't take inspiration from there. I take it from books or illustrators I view online. But now more so, because I'm thinking more from like a game design aspect, I'm definitely playing more games that are visually appealing and that I can see myself taking inspiration from. So more so now, like Hollow Knight is definitely visually appealing, and I recently started playing Grist, which so beautiful. I hate puzzle games though, I really do, but it's beautiful. If I can get past that aspect of it, then I can play it. What else? Oh, and Animal Crossing, obviously. I'm addicted to Animal Crossing.
So you basically spend your time off just playing games, pumping in the hours on Hollow Knight.
Yeah, so I had like really bad carpal tunnel in my right arm from drawing.
Oh, I thought you were going to say from gaming.
Then I got it in my left hand from Hollow Knight, because it's literally just that keyboard part that you use for it. So yeah, I'm giving that a break now and going back to this hand.